Good morning students. We'll see with the leftover inventory control, which is known as a safety stock or buffer stock. So this is the last inventory control method in the inventory control unit. So with this we'll cover the unit. Okay, so first you should understand what do you mean by safety or buffer stock. Okay, the first thing is the demand and supply rates can never be assessed exactly. So the demand and supply we cannot assess actually. Like you obviously at any situation in any business, whether you say it's clothing business or medicines business or some other business, you cannot expect demand and supply at any time. That means sometimes the demand may be more, then you may have purchased less. Sometimes the demand may be less, but you have purchased more stock. So it cannot be assessed exactly, right? There is bound to be discrepancy between the actual and the estimated demand and supply. That means there is bound to be discrepancy, means same, you are expecting more but it is less, you are expecting less, it is more. So there is bound to be a discrepancy between the actual and estimated. You estimate the demand to be something, but actually it proves out to be something, right? So there is a discrepancy between, suppose you are estimating for one tablet of degoxing, let us say you are estimating it 100 steps will be sold, but the actual sold is only 50 steps. So there is bound to be discrepancy between the actual and estimated demand and supply, right? So every organization has a policy for safeguarding their interest against these uncertainties by maintaining a minimum level of inventory. That means to cover some unforeseen conditions, every organization will have some minimum level of stock. Okay, and this minimum level of stock, the minimum level of inventory to cover some unforeseen and uncalled situations, is known as a safety stock or buffer stock. Okay, are you understanding? So the minimum level of inventory which each and every organization is maintaining in order to cope up in some emergency conditions is known as a safety stock or buffer stock. And this buffer stock can be defined, or else it can also be defined as the average stock which is available in the inventory when the fresh supply arrives. It can also be defined as the average stock available in the inventory when the fresh supply arrives, right? So it is presumed that this average stock will be able to cope up with the emergency conditions if required, right? If you have any emergency condition, suppose if in a hospital any emergency has come and it requires emergency stock, so you have to cope up with some tough emergency conditions. So this minimum level of stock will help you in coping up these emergency conditions. And generally the safety stock is maintained at the desired level. This will be maintained at the desired level by discontinuous replenishment. It will be maintained at the desired level by discontinuous replenishment. That means the stock comes and goes, stock comes and goes, it is coming and you are selling it off, it is coming and you are selling it off. So this desired level is maintained by the discontinuous replenishment. Discontinuous means it is not continuous. Whenever you desire, you will not, like, continuously replenishment will be not there. So discontinuous replenishment, by discontinuous replenishment. Okay, this spelling is wrong. Replenishment, discontinuous replenishment. Okay, and you many of you might have seen movies, right? If you see, whenever they are launching a in their satellite, in that inside the rocket they fill a fuel, right? So that is also maintained, that there is some buffer stock in the always in a satellite or a rocket in order to cope up with some emergency conditions. So that is known as buffer stock. Same applies here also. That same means the emergency condition stock which you are maintaining priorly, that is known as a buffer stock. Okay, next, factors affecting choice of safety stock. So what are the factors which will affect the choice of safety stock? First, uncertainty in demand. So this we have already discussed. Due to uncertainty in demand, for example, you don't know when is demand is less, when demand is more. So in all the situations when the demand is less or more, you want to sell your product, right? You want to maintain your supply continuous. So that is why you will maintain the minimum level of stock. So that is why whenever there is uncertainty in demand, you need to maintain any safety stock. So this is the factor which is affecting in the safety stock. The another factor like degree of insurance for any item. Degree of insurance means each and every item will have certain kind of insurance. So depending on that insurance, you will order the safety stock. Then uncertainty in lead time. Lead time we have already discussed. What do you mean by lead time? Lead time is the combination of ordering time plus receiving time plus delivery time, right? Ordering time plus delivery time plus receiving time. So whenever there is any change in lead time due to change in any of these, or sometimes ordering time may be prolonged, sometimes delivery time may be prolonged, sometimes receiving time may be prolonged, so the lead time gets changed. So due to uncertainty in lead time, you need to maintain safety stock. Then size of the batch. If the size of the batch is less or more, so depending if it is like you have sold all, then you have to order. So this is size of the batch also affects a choice of the safety stock, right? And the size of larger the uncertainty associated with any factor, larger should be the buffer stock. That means suppose your larger is size of the batch, okay, then you obviously have to order larger quantity. Or if the uncertainty lead time is more, then your buffer stock size should also be more, because it is taking more and more time to order one stock only. When will you get the next stock? So in one time only everyone will order more. So whenever in any of these factor, if the uncertainty is large, the larger should be the buffer stock. I repeat the sentence: larger the uncertainty associated with any factor, larger should be a buffer stock. Okay, then the size of the buffer stock, as we have already discussed, it depends on two factors main: variation in demand during lead time and duration of lead time. So this we have already told you. If the duration of lead time is more, then you need to order more buffer stock. And the demand, how it varies during lead time, depending on that you have to order a buffer stock. Okay, then there are two approaches to determine the safety stock. What are those two approaches? We'll discuss, and this will wind up with this method. Okay, so there are two approaches to determine safety stock. So that is known as, one is explicit consideration and the other is implicit consideration. Okay, explicit consideration and implicit consideration. Those are the two factors which will help you in determining the safety stock. Explicit considerations and here implicit considerations. Okay, so first you should know what do you mean by explicit and what do you mean by implicit. Explicit means which is stated clearly. That means that is stated clearly, you need not prove it, it is stated clearly. But implicit means it is not tested, but it is just expected. Okay, it is implied. It is just implied, but it is not stated clearly. Okay, so that is the main difference between explicit and implicit. So the inventory control, there are two approaches to determine the safety stock. One is explicit consideration and the other is implicit consideration. Okay, so in explicit considerations, first you have to know the two stocks. One is understocking cost and the overstocking cost. Okay, and if you keep minimum level of stock, that is your understocking cost, your overstocking cost. You need to first determine these two costs. Overstocking cost means you are having excess of stocks, more than that required. That is your overstocking cost. Understocking is you have very less stock, which is like very less than the desired, right? So between these two categories, you will do a mathematical analysis to find out the optimal level and the stock level at which total of these two costs will be minimum. Okay, so that is nothing but you will determine by mathematical analysis. You will do a cutoff mark. Okay, it is just nothing but statistical analysis kind of thing. Okay, I'll repeat: understocking cost here and overstocking cost. Understocking cost is nothing but the cost per unit of the material, or you can understand if the stock is very less, understock, right? And over cost, the cost for limit of the material, the cost for the limit, that means the limit has crossed. If that limit has crossed, what is that cost of that material? That is an overstocking cost. So then these two categories are the opportunity cost, and then a mathematical analysis will be carried out to find out the optimal value. Okay, to find out the optimal trade-off between these two costs, to find out the optimal trade-off between these two costs, and that stock level at which the total of these costs two will be minimum. That level at which even an understocking cost will be minimum and overstocking cost will be minimum. That you will determine. So that once you determine, that is your safety stock. Okay, next here implicit consideration. In implicit consideration is nothing but first you should know what is the demand rate. Okay, first you should know how much is the demand rate. Okay, then once the maximum demand rate is fixed, the calculation of safety stock will be easy. Okay, and since the safety stock is required for lead time only, the amount of safety stock will be is equal to D maximum. D is your demand, right? Demand rate, D maximum minus D average. D maximum minus D average over the lead time. Because safety stock is required during the lead time only. So here first you have to determine the demand rate, and once you know the demand rate, the safety stock is then determined based on the risk which the organization is willing to undertake. And once the maximum demand rate is known, the amount of safety stock is equal to demand maximum minus what is the demand which is average over the lead time. Okay, so these are the two ways in which you can determine the amount of safety stock to be left in order to cover your demand rate variations. Okay, just don't think it is very complicated. It's very simple. Explicit, it is stated clearly. That is why just understocking cost, what is your overstocking cost. You will do a mathematical analysis to come up with the optimum value at which both of these two are minimum. That is your explicit. Implicit is your demand rate. Once you know the demand rate, amount of safety stock is D max minus D average over the lead time. Thank you. So with this we have covered the inventory control unit. If you have any doubts, please let me know.